So I'm right here in downtown Lawrenceville, Georgia, and I'm actually on my way to Nancy's Candy and Spice. I want to show you all how to make one of my favorite snacks. I love homemade popcorn. There's nothing like it. So I want to show you all how to make a healthier version of it, and it's gonna be a ranch flavored popcorn, and it's so amazing. So join me as I go to Nancy's Candy and Spice and pick up this amazing seasoning. So I'm standing here in Candy and Spice in here in downtown Lawrenceville. One of the spices that I'm going to be using today for the next dish is going to be my ranch dressing. A cool unknown fact, maybe not too many people will know, is that this spice was actually invented in the 1950s by Steve Hansen. He actually, I believe he was a plumber, and he came up with this idea of the season. His wife and him put money together to open up Hidden Valley. Hidden Valley Ranch is actually the name of the place that this was being sold. He had it in powder form and in liquid form. And it became so popular that they couldn't keep up with the demands. The company, Clorox Company, actually bought it for $8 million in 1972. Can you just imagine $8 million for something that you just invented? What's cool about this is that it has dill, it has ground black pepper, it has dried basil, onion flakes, onion powder, and dried parsley. The cool thing about it is about this in dry form that you can actually make it into a dressing. You can put it onto any seasonings, but today I'm going to be showing you on how to make ranch popcorn, which is almost like a Cool Ranch Dorito, but in popcorn form. So let's go ahead and take a scoop of this delicious and go home and show you how to make this delicious dish. So welcome back to Food and Whatever. This is your host, Christina. Today I am going to do another super simple, and actually this is a very cheap dish too. It's another great dish that you can actually do with your kids. A lot of these things that I am making very simple dishes and very family friendly, kid friendly recipes. This I'm making, as you can see, I'm going to do a ranch flavored popcorn. Ranch popcorn. So I went to Candy and Spice in downtown Lawrenceville, and I got the ranch seasoning, and along with that you're going to need 2 tablespoons that you're going to use to pop your popcorn. I have half a cup of the popcorn kernels that you can buy. Like a bag of this is actually really cheap, so you can make as much popcorn as you want. I have 3 tablespoons here of butter. I have 3 teaspoons of the ranch seasoning. I also have another 1 teaspoon of the ranch seasoning that I'm actually going to incorporate into the kernels before they do pop. It's something that I found out a few years ago, that if I add a little bit of the flavoring before, it actually sticks, that flavoring actually sticks to the kernel as they're popping. And this is going to be incorporated with the butter once I melt it, and we're going to mix it all in. So let's go ahead and get the popcorn going so your little kids will enjoy some very cool, fun flavored popcorn. So I moved all the ingredients here, and I'm actually going to start with the butter that's going to be flavored with the ranch, because once you start popping the kernels, you gotta be careful. You gotta be watchful, because they will start popping really quickly. So I'd rather have that butter ready to go, so when the popcorn is ready, instead of waiting for it to cool down, I can actually add it and mix it in very quick. Again, I have 3 tablespoons of butter that I'm gonna have, and I have my eye on medium heat. I'm gonna go ahead and add that, and I wanna add the flavoring a little bit after it melts. I don't want to burn it on the stove or have it stick to the pot, so I'm just letting a little bit of that butter melt before I add the ranch. And as you can see, I actually again have it melted a little bit, So now I'm going to add the 3 teaspoons of the ranch flavoring. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to infuse it and make sure that I mix it very well. And this, like I said, it's a very, very simple recipe. And I'm doing the ranch. And what's really cool about it is that, to me, it's almost like Cool Ranch, like the Doritos, but instead of having it in tortilla form with little triangles, you actually have it on your popcorn. So this is actually ready. Again, this is a super easy, super simple, super fast recipe. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off because it's already ready, and I don't want the butter to burn once. If you keep your butter heated up, the water content in your butter actually evaporates, and the milk content of it actually starts burning. So once I have it ready, infused with the ranch, I want to turn it off. Now I'm going to go and add the 2 tablespoons of oil that I have, and I want to move the pot around to make sure that the bottom of it is 100% coated. I'm gonna grab a spoon real quick here, and the reason that I'm using this spoon, or you can use your rubber spatula, is I want to make sure that all my kernels is evenly coated with the oil. And I'm also going to add that 1 teaspoon of the ranch flavoring, and I'm gonna again coat it in the bottom with the oil. And now I'm gonna turn on the on medium high heat. Be careful that you do not burn your popcorn, and it is gonna start popping really quickly. So I have a lid here so that I could contain it, because they will start flying everywhere. I don't know if some of you are old enough or young enough to remember Jiffy Pop. Jiffy Pop is back in the, I believe in the 70s and the 80s, maybe in the early 90s. You would put it on your eye, and you would shake it, and the aluminum will actually start popping, getting big because of all the kernels inside popping. That's exactly about the same idea what we're gonna do. So what I'm doing right now is I have the ranch, the teaspoon of ranch, and I have the 2 tablespoons of oil, and I am coating all my kernels first. And you can actually start smelling some of that ranch once you start cooking it. Okay. So I'm going to put this to the side, and as you can see, it is all coated. And now is the time that you can turn it up just a tad bit. Don't do it on high. You can, the highest you want to go is medium high. I am going to turn it just a tad, and you're just going to have to wait until it start popping. Once one starts popping, that means that they're all going to start popping at the same time. I like to move mine again like a Jiffy Pop. I like to move it around and to make sure that it's all being popped. But if you hear the sizzling right now, it means that the popcorn, the kernels are starting to cook and heat up. Once the heat hits a certain temperature in the kernels, it'll start popping. So it actually smells really good. And you gotta be patient. This is a great dish to do with your kids. I know families nowadays are so used to having that, microwavable popcorn that nobody actually sees pop. But so far, every time I do this with my nieces, they love it because they get to see the glass lid that I use. They get to see the kernels popping as the kernel starts opening up. So I got 1 kernel pop. And again, I got a medium high. I'm going to turn it up just a tad bit, and they are starting to go. Again, you want the lid because I've been, the first time that I actually started doing this, didn't really have a lid to cure on, and there was popcorn all over the place. And the kernels actually do pop out of place, and I've had actually one land on my foot. They burn a lot, so you got to be very, very careful with that. And those who are health conscious, this is a very, very healthy snack. One, it's not processed popcorn. You are controlling the flavor that you put in. You're actually controlling if you want butter or not. If you don't want any butter, you can actually just season it as it's coming out. And it's a great snack to have. And again, this is a great thing to do with your kids. Especially when you do movie night, instead of buying, you know, Doritos or popcorn that is microwavable, you can just have a really cool time with your kids doing this. You're going to continue leaving in the heat and shaking it until you don't hear any more of that popping, just like you would in a microwave. But one of the reasons that I like to shake it a lot is to make sure that those kernels fall in the bottom, and so they can continue to pop. Now that it's almost popped completely, I'm going to turn down the heat so that way the popcorn that's already popped won't burn. And all I have is probably a few more stragglers. Now, I don't want to open it right now until I know that it's 100% good, because again, you'll end up having popcorn like on the side of your stove, around your kitchen floor. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. And they continue popping, but it's very minimal. Okay, now what I want to do, so I'm going to add the ranch, and I'm not going to add it all together. I'm going to do it in like sections, so that way the popcorn could be mixed, and then you're going to add, like you would do the butter. Like at the movie theater, you know how you go to the little stand where you have the butter and you swirl it in. Well, that's what I'm kind of doing. And I'm going to remove it from the eye because I don't want to burn my popcorn. And let's just have a little bit more. You can always remove the popcorn from the pot that you were doing it, and you can actually put it in a mixing bowl and mix it in, and that's it. So it is time to taste it. As you can see, I don't know if you can notice, it has like little pieces of green everywhere around the popcorn. That's just from the ranch dressing, and it couldn't be any simpler than this. So let's go ahead and move this over to the counter so we can go ahead and taste it. So you saw how quickly and how simple it is. Like I said, this popcorn to me tastes like the Cool Ranch Doritos, except it's in popcorn form. The good thing about it, and I repeat, is the simple fact that one, it's not processed like your microwavable popcorn, and another thing is that you can actually control what you put in. So those kids who love popcorn, or the parents who are not too fond of microwavable popcorn, this is a great option to do for your kids. Especially if they love Cool Ranch Doritos, you can actually form it into a popcorn. But enough said, so let's go ahead and taste this. And I really, really do love this, so I'm actually enjoying this episode. And to hurry up so I can get off the camera and eat this bowl. But I really hope that you guys try this recipe out. Again, this is the ranch popcorn. And it's so delicious. It really, really reminds me of Doritos, but in popcorn form. But enough said. I hope that you enjoy this recipe. Thank you for watching. Enjoy any flavor that you want in your popcorn. This is just an example. And let your kids enjoy making popcorn like we used to do in the old days, like with GB Pop. And it's really, really cool to see the little ones react to the popcorn being popped through the glass. But like I was saying, thank you for watching. Enjoy, have fun, and God bless.